Greetings from Byron Bay, Australia. This is a video of an admission of self. This is just to be totally authentic with you guys about what's been going on for me lately. Today I had to walk the talk, if you will, because I had been suppressing my emotion for a few months now. You might have heard me talk in the last couple of videos about some big changes that have been going on for me in my personal life, and I had been suppressing how I felt. I'd been literally scared to connect with this emotion that needed to move, energy in motion, emotion that needed to pass through me so I could heal. Feeling creates the healing. And let me just bounce you back in time. It was 2 weeks ago I came out of meditation, and as you know, I always talk with the field. When I'm in my meditation, I'm not looking at the blackness behind my eyes. I know that I'm forming a conversation with the universal consciousness that's beating my heart and bringing me into form. It's giving life to me. I had this big calling that I needed to go to Byron Bay. It came from no thought, came from the place without thought. And if you can hear that snoring in the background, that's Bella, my blue staffy. She's pregnant. She's got a couple of weeks to go till she gives birth, and she's snoozing away. It's been a big day for her. But I had this calling, and it comes from no thought. It doesn't come from the paralysis of analysis. It's when there is no mind activity, it just comes. And it said, I got to go to Byron Bay. I asked the field in my meditation to bring me a sign that left me with no doubt that I had to change my life, pack up my life, and leave South Australia immediately. Came out of meditation, had a shower, went to Jetty Road at Glenelg, just near my old house. Went into the only cafe that was open at that time in the morning, sat down, ordered a coffee, set up my laptop, and something just didn't feel right. I was just sitting there like, no, stand up. So I stood up, pack everything up. So I got on my laptop, grabbed the coffee, and walked to the opposite end of this cafe, as far away from where I'd sat as I could, and sat down facing the opposite direction. I opened my laptop and I looked out the window, and right there was a sign that said Byron. A literal sign that was there. And what I've learned after all these years is you can't go against the field. I mean, you can try, but there's a consequence to that. You end up like swimming upstream against the flow of life. And I've learned not to do that. So I literally got back from that cafe, I made some phone calls, I put everything in motion, broke my lease, packed my life into a storage container, and was driving a couple of days later across Australia, 22 hours, to arrive in Byron Bay. No plan at all. Just I knew that I had to do this. This had to happen. So here I am, chilling with Bella, and something just wasn't right the last couple of days. I just kept having this hollowness come over me. And one of my dear friends, two of my dear friends, had suggested that maybe I wasn't following my own teaching, maybe I was suppressing. And to level with you, I was scared to death to let this out. After the amount of, if you've read my story, Limitless, Reconnecting with the Infinite Power Within, you know that I've experienced an unusual level of physical pain. But what I can say is that this emotional pain that I'm talking about, it hurts more than any physical pain that I've been through. And so I was scared. I was just suppressing it. I was avoiding it. I was blocking it. And I think people could pick up on it as well. People could see that there was something in my eyes, if you will. And as usual, I let it get all the way to the point where there was no other option than to sit with it. I had to stop, sit on that bed and close my eyes and go in. And as Eckhart Tolle says, what happens to the sad or the unhappy feeling when you don't label it as being sad or unhappy? You know, when you stop that resistance and that labeling. So I just stopped. And I remembered that saying, you know, the Zen saying, what at this moment, you know, is the problem? When you're completely present, you actually realize there are no problems other than those that this thing up here creates. And so I sat with the pain and I let myself cry and it moved. The word emotion means energy in motion. And I'm talking within an hour, I feel now like the normal Damien again. I feel absolutely inspired and electric. And I'm just putting together some free workshops here in Byron Bay. Free teachings, free breath and meditation workshops, because it's something I can do to help the people up here that have been hit really, really hard with these floods and COVID and a whole raft of things. So I thought, what could I do to help? And I remembered when I spoke to this Buddhist monk a couple of years ago, he said, Damien, whenever you are depressed or whenever the pain body gets you, give. Give to someone else and it will go away. And seriously, as soon as I realized I have to do this, I've got to give my teaching, I've got to give everything that I have to these people to do something to help. Instantly, it's gone. It's faded into the background and my entire state of being has changed. Okay, so that's today's video. It's an admission of self. Hopefully you can draw something out of that as well in your own life. Remember, we've got to feel if we want to heal. We can't run from our pain. And the act of giving, when you give to another, you receive. But the secret is do it without attachment. Okay, give your love and expect nothing in return. All right, guys, light and love. Peace.